So there's this other channel that I really enjoy reading his material. I do it on Audible. His name is Paul Selig, and he channels this group of entity called the Guides. And he just recently, the beginning of August, came out with a new book, and it's called Beyond the Known: Realization. And it's like 20 hours long or something. It's really intense. And I was just even listening to it this morning. And oftentimes it's one of those things like I have to rewind it and listen to it again and then again and again. It's very heavy or dense. It's very dense in a great way. But again, I've noticed sometimes like I'll listen to a chunk of it and then I want to sleep, and I might sleep really deeply in the middle of the day. Is that some kind of is my body or energy field making some kind of big adjustment to like what I just heard? Are those not related? It's just in my head. What goes on with that when I like consume a lot of information like this that has the intention to raise my vibration, and then how my body reacts with wanting to sleep, for instance?
Sometimes that's the best way to raise your vibration, is to sleep.
Yeah.
So when you are vibrating at one level and you are receiving the inspiration to vibrate at a much higher level, the path of least resistance could easily be to go to sleep.
Got it. So, because initially I was thinking, oh, if I read this, as I read it, my vibration will rise, but maybe it's just not that easy to just climb up the scales, but it's inspiring me to rise, but I might just sleep instead of.
The path of least resistance can be habitual. It's not necessarily the easiest as a comparative function of effort or difficulty. It can be just simply habitual.
So what do you mean by that? Like it's like a habit for me to allow my vibration to rise via sleep?
It can be. It doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
If your habitual response were creating problems, for example, if you needed to work a 9-to-5 job and you liked to listen on your lunchtime and listening put you into a deep sleep and then you missed coming back to work, you could change that habit. You could find another way of incorporating, of absorbing, of processing this higher vibration, this delicious information that you are so enjoying absorbing.
Yeah.
If it's a problem, you can change it. If it's not a problem, there's no need to change it.
It's not a problem. I like it. I've got the luxury of time to be able to do that.
The deliciousness of falling asleep with an intention or a question or new data, new information, as you were describing, is that the exponentially higher vibration of the sleep facilitates a thorough dissemination. This is why stating and even writing a light intention before going into meditation is so effective for bringing the answer.
Yeah.
Because the intention, the new thought that has been introduced disseminates throughout. It permeates everywhere. Mm-hmm. Instead of staying compartmentalized.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a conversation on an elevator and then everybody leaves, that thought can stay compartmentalized. But if you think of it just before you go to sleep, it can disseminate throughout.
Okay.
It's much more powerful.
Got it.
And we believe this is what you are doing with this information you are receiving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Removing all resistance so that it can permeate throughout your being, throughout your essence.
Yeah, for sure. In this book, it's really interesting. This is the first book they've done something like this, and they talk about vibration. They talk about operating in the upper room or the higher room, which to me is like it's when you're in full alignment with your inner being, and um, they do this thing on this book, and it's really interesting having the audio version because Paul vocalizes it, but it's happened like 3 times now. And they say something like, "We will lift you to the upper room on the count of 3 or something." And they'll say 1, 3, 2, 1, and then they'll go, ah, like 3 times. This chord that they say. And so like, and I get shivers, and I noticed the last time it happened, the shivers just went down like one side of my body. And like, you know, and they talk about it it's their way to align us. And they remember in the first couple of books, they talked about, you know, if you request their help or the help of source or whatever to lift you or align you, like that's when they will, but you kind of have to request that. So what is going on with that chord that they sing?
There are so many vibrations. There are so many types of vibrations. The physical can respond to the audible in different ways than it would respond to the visual. Both are equally delicious.
Yeah.
They can be equally high vibing, as we call it.
Yeah.
But they can still be different flavors.
Uh-huh.
Just like we can love ice cream. Ice cream is so delicious. I can't decide whether I like vanilla or chocolate better. They are very different.
Yeah.
But I love them both, and I go back and forth. So including the audible, which is not as usual in the human culture, the visual and the kinesthetic are typically the most preferred, the most common expressions and experiences of large vibrational shifts.
Yeah.
And typical audible would be through music.
Yeah.
So this is unique. And they are taking advantage of this uniqueness to increase its power.
Got it.
They are speaking to you vibrationally, directly to your vibrational essence, which includes your body. It includes all of you. They are not only speaking to your body, to your entire vibrational essence.
Yeah.
Through one concentrated vibrational means.
Got it. So I hear sound, and within that sound is tons of information.
Everything.
Everything.
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
Yes.